After seeing Devon and Cornwall in Quest for Camelot, I thought, what if I had a twin heads? I guess two heads is better than one. Quest for Camelot, also known as the Magic Sword Quest for Camelot in the UK, my country, but I like the US title better, directed by Frederick Du Chow, and is the 1989 animated musical from Warner Brothers Animation. It may even be their first ever animated feature at Warner Brothers. So Quest for Camelot tells the story loosely based on the Arthurian legend. It takes place in Arthurian times where this girl's father, Cady, he inspires her to become a knight of Camelot, and after he's killed in the process of protecting King Arthur from the ruthless former knight Ruber, then 10 years later Ruber returns with a plan to take Excalibur, with a plan to steal Excalibur and overthrow Arthur and Camelot by kidnapping Cady's mother, Lady Juliana. And Cady overhears that Ruber's griffin unintentionally dropped Excalibur in the Forbidden Forest to show she, on her journey to return the sword to Arthur, meets a blind hermit, Gareth, and a lovable double-headed dragon, Devon and Cornwall. Happy 20th anniversary Quest for Camelot. Said, yeah, 20 years later, this is still one of my favourite animated movies of all time, and before Smallfoot is released in the United Kingdom tomorrow, before I either review or rant on that movie, I thought, why not review my personal favourite Warner Brothers animation movie? That's right, guys, of all the Warner Brothers animated movies, the Iron Giant and the Lego movies and Storks, Quest for Camelot is my personal favourite. How do I even describe how underrated this classic is? Sadly, at the time, it received mixed reviews from critics at best, and its box office takings were underwhelming due to it being released in the wake of the highly anticipated 1998 Godzilla, which sucks. This movie is infinitely better and should have defeated it. If only I'd spent my cash on Quest for Camelot back then. Yeah, this movie is so special. Yeah, it's one me, my mum, and my sister always adore to sit down to every once in a while. So let's get into my positives. This is not just the Arthurian legend all over again. It's a different story with entirely new characters. I love that this movie wasn't afraid to tell a original story taking place in the realm of Camelot, and this movie is so good. It has all the qualities of a Disney animated classic, undeniably awesome animation, and a groundbreaking soundtrack and voice acting. And as for our heroes, Casey, voiced by Jessalyn Gilling, she can easily compete with Mulan as most badass chick of 1998. She's a natural born knight and warrior, and she's just sick and tired of her farm life holding her back, as well as being fully inspired by her father's death. And she shows that naturally born knights can come from anywhere, not just restricted to Camelot. And Gareth is such a different and a special character. to feature in an animated movie being a blind hermit. I'm so relieved they didn't make him a cliched prince. He has such a sympathetic and traumatic backstory where he was a stable boy in Camelot, and after a fire he rescues the horses, but a horse kicked him in the eye, permanently blinding him. But then thankfully Katie's father inspires him to go on, and after Gareth has totally isolated himself in the Forbidden Forest for all these years, Katie finally convinces him to, return to Camelot and socialise with everybody. So their romance is wonderful, and Devon and Cornwall, voiced by Eric Idle and Don Wrinkles, they're the best characters in this entire movie. They are the frickin' standouts. You'll find yourself fast forwarding this movie to the moment Devon and Cornwall appear. Their source of civil ring rivalry and constant bickering throughout the movie until they finally agree on something which grants them flight and fire. That's a awesome way of helping siblings who argue finally get along. Katie's mother, Lady Juliana, voiced by Ceylon Demon herself, she's what I call a badass mother. She is forced to But once she is forced to help Ruba in his plan to spare her daughter's life, and as she is fully confident and assured that her daughter will succeed in returning Excalibur to Arthur, she never gives up on Katie. And as for Ruba, voiced by Gary Oldman, who also voiced Lord Shen in Kung Fu Panda 2, he may have the most simplistic villain motivation of power, as he wants to run Camelot differently to Arthur, yet it's the way the movie shows ruthless Ruva's behaviour that will have him scare your pants off. And Ruba's Griffin, who steals the sword from Excalibur, but after Silver Wings fights him for the sword, drops it in the forest. I like this Griffin as the antagonist better than Ruba. And even though Ruba physically bullies him after his failure, the Griffin, he still sticks with Ruba no matter what in getting to the sword before Casey can. And there's one laugh out moment where the huge stone monster, who I call Uncle Yorick, sits on Ruba and the Griffin, and Ruba's like, the ogre's butt. How could you not laugh at that? And also the chicken with the axe for a beak, literally. Some people complain that he just changes his mind and sides with Katie in the third act for no reason. I beg to differ. The chicken was never intentionally working for Roba to begin with, only because he felt he had no choice. But this chicken was Katie's pet for years on the farm, so by the finale, he'd finally had enough of Roba's bullshit and was wanted to assist Casey, so it makes sense. The animation of this movie is classic. It's as if we're watching a gorgeous tapestry and painting of the Arthurian legend come to life. And it sucks that Warner Brothers just forgot about hand-drawn animation in favour of CGI. The one thing the critics tend to praise about this movie is the songs, and the songs are unfrickin' doubtably the greatest thing about the film. Songs like United We Stand Now and Forever in the opening, to On My Father's Wings. to the prayer. So many people say that the prayer was didn't work for when Casey was fleeing Rover's soldiers, and her mother was singing that emotional song. Well, it did work. It was extremely powerful. It was Juliana praying that Casey would make it. I can't see that song being sung in any other moments in the movie. And Gareth's solo, "I Stand Alone," like every tree stands on its own, and then Gareth and Katie's love song, "Looking Through Your Eyes." Best love song in an animated movie since "Can You Feel the Love Tonight," and my favourite song in the entire movie. This is one of the grandest soundtracks that I have ever heard for a movie in my entire life, and thankfully the prayer did receive a nomination at the Academy Awards, deservedly. And how could I forget Devon and Cornwall's musical number if I didn't have you, which includes some pop cultural references to The Lion King and even Elvis. Oh, if I didn't, oh, if I didn't have you. Yeah, without that song, you wouldn't feel the full force of their civil ring rivalry, and that was one of the few times where pop cultural references were done sparingly. Yeah, yeah, they are similar comic relief characters to the genie in Aladdin, and people complain that this movie's just a Disney wannabe and is ripping off Disney, and no, it isn't. It may have Disney similarities, but that's it. And as for Merlin, I don't care that he doesn't have a great deal of screen time, as he's a Merlin who gives advice, and not a Merlin who needs to kick butt. And also Silver Wings, the most total badass character in the movie. Without this falcon, the quest would have failed. Full stop. So overall, guys, Quest for Camelot is one of the most underrated animated movies ever, and it's an underrated animated masterpiece, and one of my favourite movies of 1998. I give Quest for Camelot 5 stars out of 5. Best movie ever. This movie is so underrated. Warner Brothers make more movies like Quest for Camelot. Well, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Quest for Camelot? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google Plus and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review Smallfoot. I am not looking forward to reviewing Smallfoot. There's a 99% chance that will be a rant. Stay tuned for that. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.